Imagine this. You're having a conversation with someone you've been drawn to for a while. They laugh a little too much at your jokes, their eyes linger on yours just a bit longer than usual, and every now and then they lightly touch your arm as they speak. Their voice softens when they address you, and they always seem to find a reason to be around. It feels special, different, but is it really? Are they flirting with you, or are they just a naturally warm and friendly person who treats everyone this way? This is where things get tricky. Human interaction is layered with subtle cues, unspoken signals, and at times misleading behaviors. Our brains are wired to seek patterns, to find meaning in small details, to connect the dots even when they might not form a complete picture. But sometimes, what we think is a sign of romantic interest is nothing more than someone being comfortable around us. And the worst part? The more we like someone, the more our minds distort reality to fit our hopes. Psychologists call this confirmation bias. The tendency to interpret ambiguous actions in a way that supports what we want to believe. If we're attracted to someone, we unconsciously magnify their warmth, overanalyze their actions, and convince ourselves that there's something more. A simple smile becomes a meaningful gesture. A casual compliment feels like a hint. We look for proof that they like us, ignoring the possibility that they might just be a friendly, charismatic person who treats everyone the same way. But let's flip the perspective. Have you ever interacted with someone and been completely unaware that they were attracted to you? Maybe they laughed at all your jokes, found excuses to text, or always seemed eager to spend time with you, yet it never crossed your mind that they were flirting. Why? Because you weren't looking for it. You weren't invested in seeing romantic potential, so their actions seemed ordinary. This right here is proof that perception is influenced by desire. The truth is, flirting is not just about what someone does, it's about how they do it. Friendliness and flirting share many of the same behaviors, but intent is what separates them. A genuine smile can be a polite social habit, or it can carry an underlying attraction. A touch on the arm can be a natural expression of warmth, or it can be a calculated move to create closeness. The key is not just to observe actions, but to analyze the consistency, exclusivity, and intensity behind them. Think of the people you interact with daily. Some are naturally expressive, outgoing, and affectionate with everyone. They hug, they compliment, they engage in playful teasing. This is their personality, not necessarily a sign of attraction. But others, even those who are friendly in general, behave differently around someone they are genuinely interested in. Their energy shifts. They give undivided attention. They break patterns and show signs of nervous excitement. Now, here's where it gets even more complex. Some people flirt without even realizing it. They enjoy the thrill of connection, the exchange of playful energy, the excitement of chemistry, even if they don't actually want anything serious. This is where people get led on, left confused, or even emotionally invested in something that never had true depth to begin with. So how do you tell the difference? How do you cut through the noise and truly understand someone's intent? The answer lies in patterns, consistency, and reciprocity. Do they treat you differently from others? Do they find excuses to be near you when they don't have to be? Is their attention directed solely toward you in a group setting? And most importantly, does their behavior escalate? Flirting isn't just about momentary gestures. It builds, it moves forward, it leads somewhere. A person who is truly interested will create momentum, not just sparks that fizzle out. Attraction isn't just in what is said or done, it's in how it makes you feel. If someone is flirting with you, you'll sense a shift in energy, a different kind of pull, an underlying tension that separates it from casual kindness. But if you're constantly second-guessing, unsure, or needing to convince yourself that their actions mean something, chances are they don't. Because when someone truly wants you, they make it clear. And that's the real difference between flirting and just being friendly. Attraction is one of the most complex emotions we experience, yet at its core, it all comes down to intent. The difference between flirting and friendliness isn't just in the actions themselves. It's in the purpose behind them. A person can laugh at your jokes, compliment your appearance, and engage in playful teasing, but that doesn't always mean they're romantically interested. People are social creatures, and many of us naturally express warmth and charm in our interactions without any deeper meaning behind it. So, if you want to understand whether someone is flirting with you or just being friendly, You have to start by looking beyond the surface and into their true intent. Humans are wired to seek connection, and friendliness plays a major role in forming bonds. When someone is being friendly, their goal is usually to create comfort, build rapport, and establish a sense of ease in social situations. There is no underlying agenda other than being kind, engaging, or simply enjoying the moment. But flirting, on the other hand, has an entirely different motivation. It carries an unspoken layer of intrigue, an element of attraction, and often a desire for something more. Flirting isn't just about making someone feel good, it's about making them feel special. This is where things get tricky. Some people are naturally flirtatious by habit, even if they don't consciously mean to be. They enjoy the thrill of chemistry, the rush of playful banter, and the attention that comes with it. To them, flirting is just a form of social interaction, not necessarily a signal of deep interest. Then there are those who are naturally friendly, but avoid crossing the line into anything suggestive or ambiguous. Their kindness is steady, predictable, and consistent with everyone they meet. And then, of course, there are people who make their intentions very clear, who flirt with purpose, with consistency, and with increasing intensity. The challenge is distinguishing between these different forms of interaction. One of the biggest indicators of intent is exclusivity. Pay attention to how this person behaves with others. Do they treat you differently, or is this just how they interact with everyone? If someone compliments you, teases you, or maintains eye contact with you, it might feel personal. But if they do the same thing with 5 other people in the same room, it's probably just part of their social personality. True flirting involves a sense of focus, an effort to single you out, a shift in their behavior that becomes apparent when you're around. If they lower their voice when speaking to you, find excuses to start conversations, or seem more animated in your presence, there's a good chance that their interest goes beyond simple friendliness. Another key factor in intent is escalation. Friendliness remains stable, consistent, and casual. It doesn't increase in intensity over time, nor does it create deeper emotional or physical closeness. But flirting? It builds. It starts with small signals, sustained eye contact, light teasing, lingering smiles, and over time it grows. The conversation gets more personal. The touches become more intentional. The energy between you shifts, becoming charged with unspoken attraction. A flirty person will create moments of tension, push the boundaries of personal space, and make an effort to draw you in. But here's the most important part. Flirting is reciprocal. It's not just about what they do, it's about how they respond to you. If you lean in, do they lean in closer? If you joke, do they match your energy and take it a step further? Flirting is a dance, and it requires 2 willing participants. If someone is simply being friendly, their energy will remain neutral, unaffected by the shifts in your body language or tone. But if they're flirting, you'll feel the pull. The connection will deepen. There will be an unmistakable sense of playfulness, of chemistry, of a mutual desire to keep the conversation going. The problem many people face is overanalyzing individual gestures without looking at the bigger picture. A single compliment doesn't mean someone is attracted to you. A friendly touch on the shoulder doesn't automatically signal romantic interest. Instead of focusing on isolated actions, look at the pattern. Is there a consistent effort to engage with you, to create moments of shared laughter, to keep the energy alive, or is it just a fleeting interaction with no real momentum? At the end of the day, intent isn't something you always hear. It's something you feel. If someone is flirting with you, there will be an energy shift, a subtle excitement in the way they interact with you. But if you're constantly questioning their actions, wondering if you're imagining things, or looking for meaning where there is none, then chances are they're just being friendly. Because when someone truly wants you, their intent isn't just felt. It's undeniable. Sometimes, the hardest part about understanding whether someone is flirting or just being friendly isn't about reading their actions. It's about overcoming our own biases. Human psychology is tricky, and when we're emotionally invested, our perception becomes clouded. We see what we want to see. We interpret ambiguous gestures as signs of attraction. We take simple acts of kindness and convince ourselves they mean something more. This is the mind's way of protecting hope, of creating possibilities where none may exist. But if you want to truly understand someone's intent, you have to learn to step outside of your own emotions and see things as they really are. One of the biggest psychological factors that come into play here is projection. This happens when we assume that someone else feels the same way we do, simply because we want them to. If you're attracted to someone, your brain will naturally search for clues that they feel the same. You'll remember the way they laughed at your joke, the way they touched your arm, the way they texted you first. But what you might not notice is that they do these things with everyone. You might not realize that their energy doesn't shift when they're around you, that their actions don't escalate, that their interactions with you are just another part of their general warmth. This is why it's so important to remove your personal emotions from the equation and analyze their behavior objectively. Another psychological phenomenon at play is the halo effect. This occurs when we perceive someone as attractive, charming, or likable, and because of that we subconsciously assume that everything they do is infused with deeper meaning. If an average acquaintance were to compliment your new haircut, you'd likely take it as a passing remark. But if it comes from someone you're attracted to, suddenly it feels significant. You replay the moment in your head. You wonder if there was something special in their tone, if their eyes lingered a little longer than normal. But in reality, the compliment itself hasn't changed. It's your perception of the person that makes it feel different. Now, let's talk about body language. Many people believe that attraction is revealed through certain physical cues. Things like eye contact, leaning in, mirroring body movements, or subtle touches. And while it's true that body language can be a strong indicator of romantic interest, it's not always as straightforward as people think. Some people are naturally expressive. They use a lot of hand gestures, they make consistent eye contact, they touch people lightly during conversations. But they do this with everyone. If you judge flirting solely based on body language without considering patterns and exclusivity, you're likely to misinterpret someone's actions. A better way to approach this is to look for what's called behavioral clustering. This means that instead of focusing on one isolated action, you observe a series of behaviors over time. For example, if someone holds strong eye contact with you, that alone doesn't mean much. But if they also find excuses to touch you, engage you in one-on-one conversations, remember small details about you, and go out of their way to be near you, then the collection of these actions suggests something more than just friendliness. It's about seeing the whole picture rather than picking apart small moments. Another key factor in distinguishing between flirting and friendliness is the element of exclusivity. This is one of the most reliable ways to determine someone's intent. If they are truly interested in you, their behavior will change when you're around. They will give you more attention than they give to others. Their energy will shift. They will subtly or even overtly prioritize interactions with you. But if they treat you exactly the same way they treat everyone else, there's a strong chance that their friendliness is just that. Friendliness. And then there's the most powerful test of all, reciprocity. Flirting is not a one-sided interaction. If someone is genuinely attracted to you, they won't just initiate, they'll respond. They will lean into the chemistry, match your energy, and create a dynamic that builds momentum. If you tease them, they'll tease you back. If you playfully touch their arm, they won't pull away. They'll find a way to make the moment last longer. The back and forth is what creates attraction. But if you find yourself doing all the work, if you're constantly trying to keep the energy alive while they remain passive, then chances are they're not truly interested. Ultimately, the truth is simple. When someone wants you, you don't have to decode their behavior like a secret message. You don't have to overanalyze every glance, every text, every moment of eye contact. Because real attraction makes itself known. It's consistent, it's intentional, and it moves forward. If you find yourself constantly questioning whether someone is flirting or just being friendly, ask yourself this: are they making it clear? Because when someone truly wants you, they won't leave room for doubt. One of the biggest traps people fall into when trying to determine whether someone is flirting or just being friendly is the tendency to overanalyze mixed signals. The human brain craves certainty, but attraction isn't always black and white. Sometimes people send signals that seem flirty one moment and distant the next. They laugh at your jokes, initiate conversations, and even compliment you, but then they disappear for days or act indifferent at times. This inconsistency can be incredibly confusing, leaving you stuck in a cycle of questioning their true intentions. But here's the thing: mixed signals aren't actually mixed, they're just weak signals, and weak signals rarely lead to something real. Psychologically, inconsistent behavior can often be traced back to one of two things. a lack of strong romantic interest, or emotional unavailability. When someone truly likes you, they will naturally want to be around you. They won't create unnecessary confusion or leave you second-guessing how they feel. Inconsistent flirting or sporadic engagement is often a sign that someone enjoys your attention but doesn't necessarily want to take things further. It's the classic case of keeping someone in the maybe zone, not fully rejecting them, but not fully committing either. Now, there's another layer to this. Sometimes mixed signals happen because the person themselves is uncertain. Attraction isn't always a straightforward, immediate feeling. Some people are indecisive about their emotions. They might feel drawn to you in certain moments, but then retreat when they overthink or question whether they're truly interested. This kind of push-pull behavior can be frustrating, but the key is not to get lost in analyzing their every move. Instead, focus on the overall trend of their actions. Do they consistently try to build a connection? Or do they only engage when it's convenient for them? If they're only showing up when they're bored or seeking validation, that's not attraction. That's just a temporary distraction. One psychological principle that plays into this dynamic is called intermittent reinforcement. This is the same principle that makes gambling addictive. The idea that rewards come unpredictably, when someone is warm and engaging one moment, then distant and uninterested the next. Your brain starts chasing the high of their attention. You start focusing on the moments when they do seem interested, downplaying the times they don't. This creates an emotional roller coaster that keeps you hooked, even when the reality is that their inconsistency is a sign of weak interest, not deep affection. If you find yourself constantly having to decode someone's behavior, that's a red flag in itself. True attraction doesn't require a detective mindset. You shouldn't have to analyze their every word, every glance, every slight change in tone just to figure out where you stand. A person who is genuinely interested will show up consistently. They won't treat you like an option or only invest in you when it's convenient. They will make it known through both words and actions that they see you as someone important. So how do you handle mixed signals? The first step is to stop rewarding inconsistency. If someone is only engaging with you sporadically, don't give them more attention than they're giving you. Instead of chasing their approval, match their energy. If they're hot and cold, don't lean into the warmth and ignore the cold. Pay attention to the pattern as a whole. Because at the end of the day, genuine attraction isn't about occasional bursts of interest. It's about steady, continuous effort. Another strategy is to communicate directly. While some people are afraid that addressing mixed signals will scare the other person away, the truth is that only those with weak interest will be scared off by clarity. If someone is truly invested in you, they won't mind being asked where they stand. A simple, confident approach, like casually asking, "Hey, I've noticed you're a little inconsistent with your energy. Are you actually interested or just being friendly?" can clear up a lot of confusion. The key is not to ask from a place of insecurity, but from a place of self-respect. You deserve to know where you stand, and anyone who truly values you won't leave you questioning. Attraction should feel exciting, not exhausting. It should bring you clarity, not confusion. If someone is truly flirting with you because they like you, their actions will align with their words, their attention will be consistent, and you won't have to spend hours wondering what they really mean. But if their signals are all over the place, if their interest only comes in waves, if you find yourself overthinking their every move, then it's time to stop chasing clarity where none exists. Because when someone really wants you, you won't have to figure them out. They'll make it obvious. Body language is one of the most revealing indicators of a person's true feelings, often speaking louder than words. People can say they're just being friendly, but their unconscious physical cues tell a different story. The challenge is that many of these signals happen automatically, without conscious awareness, making them both honest and difficult to fake. If you want to know whether someone is flirting with you or just being polite, paying attention to body language can give you the clarity you need. One of the strongest signs of genuine attraction is proximity. When someone likes you, they naturally want to be close to you. They lean in when you speak, find reasons to close the physical gap, or position themselves in your space even when they don't need to. This isn't accidental. It's a primal instinct rooted in psychology. When a person is interested, they unconsciously decrease the distance between themselves and the object of their attraction. On the other hand, if they always maintain a certain level of distance, pull away when you get closer, or seem comfortable keeping space between you, they may not be as interested as you hope. Eye contact is another powerful indicator. Sustained, deep eye contact creates a sense of intimacy, even in brief encounters. When someone is flirting, they don't just look at you. They hold their gaze a little longer than necessary. It's not just about looking into your eyes, it's about what happens in that moment. Their pupils might dilate slightly, a physiological reaction that occurs when we see something or someone we find appealing. They might glance down at your lips or break eye contact and then quickly look back, a classic sign of nervous excitement. If their gaze lingers or they make frequent eye contact, even in a crowded room, there's a good chance they're drawn to you on a deeper level. Mirroring is another subconscious cue that reveals attraction. When someone likes you, they often mimic your body language without realizing it. If you cross your arms, they might do the same. If you take a sip of your drink, they follow shortly after. This is the brain's way of signaling rapport and connection. Psychologists call it the chameleon effect, and it's a strong indicator of attraction. It's a way of saying, "I'm in sync with you," without using words. However, if their body language remains stiff, distant, or unresponsive to yours, they might just be engaging in polite conversation rather than flirting. Subtle physical touches are another giveaway. A light touch on the arm, a playful shove, brushing against you accidentally more than once. These are small but meaningful signals of attraction. Physical touch releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, making the connection feel more intense. When someone is interested, they will often find excuses to initiate touch, even in subtle ways. But the key is how natural and effortless it feels. If they seem hesitant, withdrawn, or avoid physical contact altogether, it may indicate that their interest is purely platonic. Facial expressions can also reveal hidden attraction. A genuine smile that reaches the eyes, raised eyebrows when they see you, or a quick bite of the lip. These are all subconscious cues of excitement and attraction. The way someone reacts when you enter a room says a lot about how they feel. Do their eyes light up? Does their expression shift slightly when they see you? These micro-expressions often happen in a split second, revealing feelings before the mind has a chance to filter them. Then there's the classic nervous energy that comes with attraction. If someone fidgets around you, plays with their hair, adjusts their clothing, or even stumbles over their words, it could mean they're feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. The brain releases adrenaline in moments of attraction, causing small physical reactions that can be hard to control. If they seem unusually animated, laugh a little too much, or appear slightly restless, it might be because they're trying to impress you. Of course, body language should always be read in context. Some people are naturally expressive, touchy, or animated in their interactions, regardless of romantic interest, and that's why the key is to look for patterns. Are they only this way with you? Do they react differently when talking to others? If their body language shifts noticeably when they're around you, it's a strong sign of attraction. Ultimately, words can be misleading, but the body rarely lies. If someone is flirting, their body will tell the story, often before their words do. The signs are there, you just have to pay attention. Verbal cues can be just as revealing as body language when it comes to distinguishing between flirting and friendliness. Words carry meaning beyond their surface level. Tone, choice of words, and the way someone speaks to you compared to others can unveil their true intentions. Some people flirt playfully, using teasing or light-hearted banter, while others may flirt more subtly, using deeper conversations, compliments, or a certain warmth in their voice. Understanding the psychology behind verbal cues can help you determine whether someone's words are just casual kindness or a sign of deeper attraction. One of the most telling verbal signs of flirting is teasing. When someone playfully pokes fun at you or jokingly challenges you, it's often a way to create a sense of intimacy. This kind of teasing isn't meant to be hurtful, but rather a way to spark chemistry. Think of how children in school push or joke around with someone they like. It's a natural way to build rapport. If someone teases you often, calls you by a playful nickname, or finds ways to make you laugh at your own expense, there's a strong chance they're interested. However, if their teasing lacks warmth or feels more like casual joking with no particular attention toward you, it may not be flirtation, but rather just their general sense of humor. Another verbal cue that signals attraction is the presence of deeper, more personal conversations. When someone is interested, they'll often steer the conversation away from surface-level topics and toward more meaningful discussions. They might ask about your dreams, your passions, your childhood memories, things that reveal more about who you are beneath the surface. This is because attraction isn't just about looks, it's about connection. If someone is consistently curious about your life, asks follow-up questions, and remembers details about your previous conversations, it's a strong sign they're investing in you emotionally. Compliments can also be a sign of flirting, but context is key. A friendly person may compliment you on something neutral, like your work ethic or your ability to make people laugh. A flirtatious person, on the other hand, will often compliment something more personal: your eyes, your smile, your voice, or even the way you make them feel. The delivery matters too. A casual, "Nice shirt" is friendly, but a slower, more deliberate, "That color looks amazing on you," with lingering eye contact, carries an entirely different weight. The way someone uses their voice around you can also hint at their level of attraction. Research shows that when people are attracted to someone, their voice naturally changes. Men tend to lower their pitch, making their voice sound deeper and more masculine, while women often speak in a softer, more melodic tone. This vocal shift happens subconsciously and is linked to an instinctive desire to appear more appealing. If you notice a subtle change in someone's voice when they talk to you compared to when they talk to others, it could be a sign of hidden attraction. Flirty conversations also tend to include playful challenges or dares. If someone frequently says things like, "I bet you couldn't handle a night out with me," or "I dare you to try this with me," they're not just making conversation, they're inviting you into their world in a way that creates intrigue and excitement. This kind of playful interaction is a classic flirting technique because it creates a sense of exclusivity and shared adventure. Subtle suggestiveness is another telltale sign. If someone makes light-hearted, flirtatious remarks about the two of you being a great match, jokes about a date, or playfully hints at attraction, they're testing the waters. These comments often come wrapped in humor, allowing them to gauge your reaction without making things awkward. A friend might say, "We should totally get married for the tax benefits," but if it's said with a smirk and sustained eye contact, there's likely more to it than just a joke. Even the frequency of communication can reveal interest. Someone who is flirting will make an effort to talk to you, initiate conversations, or continue conversations even when they could have let them die out. They'll respond quickly, ask follow-up questions, and make you feel like your words matter. If they text you out of the blue, send memes or jokes they think you'd like, or find reasons to stay engaged, it's often a sign that you're on their mind. Of course, the key to understanding verbal cues is to look for consistency. A single compliment or joke doesn't necessarily mean someone is flirting. But when these signs appear repeatedly, when their conversations with you feel different from their conversations with others, that's when you know there's something more. Words can be a powerful tool in flirtation, and when used intentionally, they create a connection that goes beyond mere friendliness. One of the most overlooked but powerful ways to distinguish between flirting and friendliness lies in physical proximity and touch. Human psychology reveals that we are naturally drawn to those we feel emotionally and physically connected to. The way someone positions themselves around you, the subtle ways they break personal space barriers, and the intentionality behind their physical gestures can provide deep insights into whether they see you as just a friend or something more. Physical proximity is often one of the first unconscious signals of attraction. When someone is drawn to you, they will instinctively try to be closer, even in subtle ways. In a group setting, they might always find a reason to sit next to you or stand within your personal space. When talking, they may lean in slightly, making the conversation feel more intimate. If you notice someone consistently positioning themselves closer to you than necessary, especially in a way that feels comfortable rather than intrusive, it's a strong indicator that they enjoy being near you on more than just a friendly level. Touch is one of the strongest ways to gauge attraction. Friendly people may engage in casual gestures like a handshake, a high five, or an occasional pat on the back. However, someone who is flirting will often use touch in a more deliberate and lingering way. They may brush their hand against yours when reaching for something, let their hug last just a second longer than usual, or find excuses to make light contact, like fixing something on your shirt or playfully nudging you. These small moments of touch create an unconscious sense of connection, triggering the brain to release oxytocin, the bonding hormone. If someone is subtly finding ways to initiate touch and doesn't shy away when you reciprocate, they're likely interested in more than just friendship. The response to touch is just as important as the initiation. If you touch them lightly, perhaps tapping their arm while laughing or brushing against them in passing, and they pull away quickly or seem stiff, they may not be comfortable with that level of closeness. On the other hand, if they lean in, relax, or even escalate the touch in return, it's a clear sign they enjoy the interaction. Mutual touch, where both people naturally reciprocate and feel at ease with physical closeness, is a strong indicator of romantic interest. Another subtle but revealing sign is how they react when someone else touches you. If they suddenly become more aware, tense, or even slightly protective when another person enters your personal space, they may feel a subconscious sense of possessiveness. This doesn't mean jealousy in a negative sense. It's more of an instinctive reaction when someone perceives competition for someone they are attracted to. You might notice them subtly moving closer to you when another person gets too close, or inserting themselves into the conversation in a way that reclaims your attention. Paying attention to nervous habits can also provide insight. When people are attracted to someone, they often exhibit unconscious body language cues like fidgeting, adjusting their clothes, or running their fingers through their hair. These gestures signal a heightened awareness of their appearance and an underlying nervous excitement. If someone starts smoothing their shirt, playing with their jewelry, or adjusting their posture when you enter the room, they may be subconsciously trying to present themselves in the best possible light for you. A person's level of comfort in your personal space can reveal a lot. Friends tend to respect boundaries naturally, keeping a predictable distance unless there's a clear reason to be closer. However, someone who is flirting will often test those boundaries in playful and non-threatening ways. They might sit just close enough that your knees touch, stand just slightly inside your personal bubble during conversations, or even use proximity as a way to gauge your response. If you step closer, and they don't move away, or even step closer themselves, it's a strong sign that they're comfortable being physically near you and may want to take things beyond friendship. Of course, context is crucial. Some people are naturally touchy and affectionate with everyone, while others are more reserved. The key is to observe whether their physical behavior with you is noticeably different from how they interact with others. Do they touch you more often or in more meaningful ways? Do they lean in closer only when speaking to you? Do they seem more physically comfortable around you compared to others? Patterns matter more than isolated moments. Attraction has a way of manifesting through body language before words are ever spoken. Physical proximity, lingering touches, and the way someone responds to your presence all tell a silent but powerful story. If someone consistently finds reasons to be near you, touches you in subtle yet meaningful ways, and responds positively to your own physical cues, chances are they aren't just being friendly. They're flirting, even if they don't say it outright. One of the most revealing signs of whether someone is flirting or just being friendly is the way they communicate. Words can be playful, teasing, or even subtly intimate, and the tone, choice of words, and the underlying intent behind conversations can provide strong clues about someone's true feelings. The way they talk to you, the topics they bring up, and how they respond to your words all reveal whether they see you as just a friend or something more. Flirting often involves a different energy than casual conversation. It has an element of excitement, unpredictability, and sometimes even a little bit of challenge. A person who is flirting might tease you in a playful way, using light sarcasm or joking about something harmless. This teasing isn't meant to be mean. It's a way to create a dynamic where there's an engaging push and pull, a sense of fun and chemistry that goes beyond everyday interactions. If someone is frequently joking with you, finding ways to playfully challenge you, or laughing at even your most average jokes, they're not just being friendly. They're trying to create a connection that feels different, something more charged with attraction. Another telltale sign is whether the conversation moves into personal or intimate territory. Friendly conversations tend to stay on safe, general topics, work, hobbies, or shared interests. But when someone is interested in you romantically, they will often steer conversations toward deeper, more personal areas. They might ask about your childhood, your dreams, your past relationships, or what you look for in a partner. This isn't random. It's their way of trying to understand you on a deeper level, to form a bond beyond surface-level small talk. The more someone actively seeks out details about your life, your emotions, and your thoughts, the more likely it is that their interest goes beyond simple friendship. Pay attention to how much they remember. A friendly person might remember broad details about your life, but someone who is interested in you will remember the small things. They will recall the exact way you like your coffee, the name of your pet, or something minor you mentioned in passing weeks ago. This level of attentiveness is not accidental. It's a subconscious sign that they value you and want to form a deeper connection. When someone likes you, they naturally make mental notes about things that matter to you because, on some level, they are trying to integrate themselves into your world. Another powerful sign is whether they create inside jokes or shared experiences with you. Flirting is about forming a unique connection that feels different from the way they interact with everyone else. If someone finds ways to reference past conversations, build on shared memories, or create little inside jokes that only the two of you understand, they're trying to make your connection special. Inside jokes aren't just humor, they are a way to reinforce a private bond, to make it feel like there's something between you that no one else shares. Tone and voice modulation also play a huge role in flirting. When someone is interested in you, their voice may change when they talk to you, becoming softer, slower, or even a little more playful. Studies show that both men and women subconsciously alter their vocal tones when speaking to someone they're attracted to, making their voices either more melodic or deeper. If you notice that someone's tone shifts when speaking with you compared to how they speak with others, it could be a sign that they're drawn to you in a way that goes beyond simple friendship. A person's level of responsiveness is also key. If someone is just friendly, they will engage in conversation but won't necessarily go out of their way to keep it going. But if someone is flirting, they will actively look for ways to extend the conversation. They will ask follow-up questions, introduce new topics, or even subtly delay leaving just to spend more time talking to you. They might even drop hints about future meetups, saying things like, "We should check that place out sometime," or "Next time I'll have to show you my favorite coffee shop." These aren't just casual statements, they're test runs to see if you're open to spending more time together outside of your usual environment. Digital communication also holds strong clues. A friendly person will respond when they have time, but someone who is interested in you will make time. They will reply quickly, initiate conversations, and keep them going even when there's no real need to. If someone often texts you first, sends you memes or things they think you'd like, or even double texts when you don't respond right away, they are making an effort to stay connected to you in a way that isn't just casual. The depth, tone, and playfulness of someone's conversations with you reveal more than just their words. The way they tease you, remember small details, extend conversations, and create a unique dynamic between you are all signs that go beyond just friendliness. If someone consistently puts in the effort to keep conversations engaging, personal, and fun, they're not just talking, they're flirting, whether they realize it or not. Body language speaks volumes where words fall short. It's often the subconscious betrayer of a person's true feelings, revealing intentions that even they might not be fully aware of. When it comes to flirting versus friendly behavior, the way someone physically interacts with you, through eye contact, gestures, proximity, and subtle touches, can be a clear indicator of whether they see you as just a friend or something more. Unlike words, body language is hard to fake because it's controlled by the unconscious mind. It's instinctive, raw, and deeply revealing. Eye contact is one of the strongest signals of attraction. A friendly person will maintain normal eye contact in conversations, looking at you to show politeness and engagement. But when someone is flirting, their eye contact lingers. It becomes heavier, more intense, more purposeful. There's a different kind of connection when someone holds your gaze just a little longer than necessary, and when they glance away only to look back at you moments later. It's not accidental. It's a subconscious way of seeking more connection. If their pupils are dilated while looking at you, that's another undeniable biological sign of attraction. The human brain reacts to desire by widening the pupils, allowing more light in, almost as if trying to absorb more of the person they're drawn to. Beyond eye contact, watch how they position themselves around you. A friendly person will stand at a comfortable, neutral distance, respecting personal space. But if someone is flirting, they will close that distance. They will lean in when you speak, subtly inching closer as if pulled by an invisible force. They'll find excuses to be near you, whether it's sitting right next to you in a group setting or brushing past you in a way that feels intentional but effortless. Proximity is one of the most telling signs of attraction. People naturally gravitate toward those they like, often without even realizing it. Then there's touch. This is where the distinction between friendly and flirtatious behavior becomes undeniable. A friend might offer a casual pat on the back or a high five, but someone who is flirting will introduce more intentional, lingering touches. They'll brush their hand against yours by accident, place a hand on your shoulder when they laugh, or lightly touch your arm while making a point. These small physical gestures are powerful. They create a sense of closeness and intimacy that words alone can't achieve. Touch releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which enhances feelings of connection and attraction. If someone frequently finds ways to touch you in subtle but meaningful ways, it's a clear sign they're not just being friendly. Mirroring is another strong subconscious signal. When someone is attracted to you, their body will naturally mimic yours. If you lean in, they lean in. If you cross your arms, they cross theirs. This isn't done on purpose. It's a natural response when we feel connected to someone. Mirroring reflects a deep psychological rapport, signaling that they're in sync with you. It's one of the strongest, most consistent nonverbal cues of interest. Their facial expressions can also reveal hidden attraction. A person who is flirting will often raise their eyebrows slightly when they see you, an instinctive expression of excitement and interest. They may bite or lick their lips when speaking to you, which is another subconscious reaction when someone is physically drawn to another person. Smiling, of course, is a key factor, but it's not just about whether they smile. It's about how they smile. A friendly smile is polite and momentary, while a flirtatious smile lingers, often paired with that unmistakable sparkle in their eyes. Another important detail is nervous energy. While confidence is attractive, nervousness can sometimes be a hidden sign of flirting. If someone fidgets around you, plays with their hair, adjusts their clothing, or shifts their weight from foot to foot, it can indicate that they are aware of your presence in a way that makes them slightly anxious. In a good way. They're trying to manage their excitement, making sure they appear composed while their body betrays them with these subtle nervous gestures. Lastly, pay attention to exclusivity in their body language. When someone is just being friendly, their gestures and expressions are evenly distributed among everyone they interact with. But when someone is flirting, their body language is directed specifically toward you. They turn their full body toward you when speaking, even if there are others around. Their feet point in your direction, even when they're engaged in another conversation. They focus their attention on you, showing, without words, that you are the most important person in the room to them. Body language is a powerful, silent communicator of attraction. Unlike words, which can be carefully chosen or misinterpreted, physical cues are instinctual and nearly impossible to control. If someone's body language consistently aligns with these signals, prolonged eye contact, close proximity, intentional touch, mirroring, and a unique focus on you, there's a strong chance that they're not just being friendly. They're drawn to you in a way that goes beyond casual connection, revealing their true feelings through the language of the body, whether they consciously realize it or not. When all the signs align, when the lingering eye contact, the subtle touches, the playful teasing, and the undeniable chemistry are all there, the question still remains, what do you do with this knowledge? Understanding whether someone is flirting or just being friendly is only half the battle. The real challenge lies in what comes next. Do you reciprocate? Do you clarify their intentions? Or do you walk away, unsure of whether you misread the signals? The way you respond to these unspoken cues can shape the course of your relationships, whether romantic or platonic. The first step is self-awareness. Before you react, ask yourself, what do you want? Are you hoping for something more? Or do you just enjoy the attention? Sometimes we get caught up in the thrill of being pursued, confusing our desire to be desired with actual romantic interest. But true connection requires intention. If you're genuinely interested in this person, your response should reflect that. If you're not, it's important to be mindful of how your actions might be interpreted. The worst thing you can do, both for yourself and the other person, is to send mixed signals, knowingly or unknowingly. Once you've gained clarity on your own feelings, the next step is to observe consistency. Flirting is an art of the moment, but true romantic interest goes beyond fleeting interactions. Does this person only act this way when the mood is light, when the setting is playful, or when no one else is around? Or do they consistently show signs of attraction regardless of the environment? Genuine interest doesn't fade when the conversation ends. It lingers. It manifests in thoughtful actions, in small gestures that show they care beyond surface-level attraction. A person who is truly drawn to you won't just flirt when it's convenient. They'll find ways to stay connected, even in subtle, meaningful ways. But here's where the real shift happens: communication. Reading signs is important, but nothing is more powerful than direct conversation. If you've noticed repeated signals and you're genuinely interested, don't be afraid to test the waters. Flirt back. Mirror their energy, playfully challenge them, deepen your interactions and see how they respond. Attraction thrives on tension, on the push and pull of curiosity, excitement and anticipation, but at some point, subtle hints must turn into clear intentions. If the connection feels strong, don't be afraid to address it. A simple, honest question, delivered with confidence, can save you from endless overthinking. Something as straightforward as, "I can't tell if you're just being charming or if you're actually flirting with me," can cut through the ambiguity while keeping the interaction light and playful. What if you misread the signals? What if they were just being friendly? That fear holds many people back from taking a chance. But the reality is, confidence is attractive regardless of the outcome. Even if they weren't flirting, your ability to communicate directly and unapologetically will leave an impression, and in the best-case scenario, they might not have even realized their own feelings until you addressed them. Sometimes people flirt instinctively without fully processing their emotions. Your directness might be the catalyst that turns unspoken attraction into something real. However, if the answer is clear and they were just being friendly, respect that. Don't take it personally. Attraction is not a reflection of your worth, but rather a matter of compatibility. The way someone feels about you is out of your control, but the way you handle it, with grace, confidence, and self-respect, is entirely within your power. In these moments, remind yourself that clarity is a gift. Knowing where you stand allows you to move forward without doubt or false hope. At the end of the day, relationships, whether romantic or platonic, are built on authenticity. If someone is flirting, enjoy it. If they're just being friendly, appreciate it. But most importantly, always be honest with yourself about what you want and how you respond. Mixed signals can lead to confusion, but self-assurance cuts through the noise. Whether you choose to pursue, to step back, or to simply let things unfold naturally, the key is to remain intentional, confident, and open to the possibilities that come when you truly understand the language of attraction.